Let me tell you something, gentlemen, women will always waste your time if you let them. My relationship with a pretty tiny lady who was about 3/4 my height for 2 years was a good illustration of this. Because I was a big monkey fool, I let her spend my college years chasing after her wet vice grass, which to this day, I haven't even had the opportunity to press the tip of. I made the decision to be a decent man and make my girlfriend have sexual fun in the bedroom with me, even if I had no bad brothers and other opportunities came my way from even virgins. We all know how it ended out, so, since I'm telling you guys on YouTube not to get married, be in a committed relationship or cohabit, he made quick work of me while giving me just the right amount of access to her body. I decided to stay with her till she graduated from college. She dumped my stupid butt after finishing her degree and deciding she didn't need me any longer. She is now doing whatever it is she is doing. That's how callous and cold these individuals are, or if you let them take advantage of you. She told me I wouldn't receive any of her sweet, sugary walls, so it was partly my fault. However, a man will either read that as a challenge or as a serious statement that she is assigned to run. And she's simply saying it to make herself seem more difficult. She might, however, wish to part with those cheeks. Sadly for your boy, I think the latter is true. She allowed me just enough access, as I have mentioned. I would therefore hang around, but she would never give me her lovely, liquid intestines. I'll tell you right now that her guts were also watery. However, I was never able to find out if it was juicy and sweet. However, it is what it is. I'll never get the opportunity to go through all of it. And that was something I had to accept as I thought back on how foolish I had been to allow a girl who was younger, weaker, and less streetwise to take advantage of and manipulate me back then. Where I went wrong was valuing virginity too highly and engaging in sexual activity with a lady I had feelings for while we were dating. The need to understand what it would be like to have sex with a virgin at the time made that my biggest vice. However, if I had just known from the beginning that I wasn't going to get what I needed from my ex and had the courage to leave her and move on, then I most likely would have obtained it from someone else who wanted to provide me with that experience. Men frequently let all the other women pass them by because they are taken aback by a woman they genuinely like or find appealing. These other women would have treated them better and provided them what they desired for a short while. Not that the marriage would not have terminated, but at least the entire interaction was worthwhile for you. And that is something that males need to accept. And be aware that you have the option to end your relationship if the person you are with isn't providing you anything you really desire, but cannot compromise on. If you can't live without it, it's selfish to quit the relationship. For me, the inability to have fun in the bedroom was a deal breaker. It might be something entirely different for you. But the point I'm trying to make with my personal experience is don't waste your time waiting for ladies if they don't want to give you what you're waiting for, or if it's not worth it. It took me 2 years to figure it out, but happily I came across the RP, and it completely altered my life. I've shared my personal experience with you to show you that I am aware of what might happen if you spend too much time with contemporary women. Leave that woman alone and go on to the next one since it isn't worth it. Because women treat different men differently, which is something you must realize. She will not treat another man who she genuinely likes, or who has social or financial clout over her in the same way as she treats you. For instance, she could create a synth. Wait 90 days before kissing her cheeks while he is spending time with her, taking her on dates and purchasing gifts for her. However, he could easily obtain the drawers if her employer or the CEO of her company wanted to stretch her out and she liked him. Understand what I mean? Realizing that is how things work. If the woman you wanted to split open like a coconut was having you jump through hoops and overcome obstacles simply to receive what she's given out for free to several men, avoid wasting any more time. Simply move on to the following one. The fact that peace leave is never worthwhile is something you as a male must believe if you want to have control over women. When one woman doesn't work out, there is always another one right around the corner. Guys, her wet vice grasp is never worth the wait. Trust me. Notwithstanding how drenched and pouring it may be, you will never be able to get back the time you exchanged for it. Take me as your shining example. I attempted to have sex with my girlfriend at the time for 2 years, but I was unsuccessful. Do you believe I'll get my wasted 2 years back? No way. Those 2 years are permanently lost. Therefore, realize that once you waste time, that's all the time you spent. No matter what you do, you can never get it back. But if I had used that time to devote myself to a skill that would have allowed me to earn money in the future, I would categorically state that it was time well spent. And now let's consider the sleeve in its appropriate context. because aside letting you bust and feel good for a handful of seconds to a minute, it doesn't return anything else of value. It does, however, leave you with confusion, drama, unrest, liabilities, debt, and other things. So in my perspective, seeking and waiting for peace to part is a waste of time, and I've come to the conclusion that I won't waste any more time attempting to convince a woman to lie on her back, regardless of whether she is a virgin or a nice girl. The only difference between them is how skilled and naughty the woman is in bed and how she reacts while you're pounding the pavement, if you know what I mean. So I'll simply pay the money for some wet vice grip. So believe me when I say it is a waste of time to wait for peace to part, not when they aren't letting other men wait. Furthermore, you must not let a lady take advantage of you just because she made a time-stealing promise. When interacting with contemporary women, always be on the defensive. That means you shouldn't waste any of your time, money, energy, or attention on these ladies. Do it and get on with your life if you have to pay her to lie on her back for a few hours. Although money may always be made back, time and attention spent and wasted cannot. Always keep that in mind. Alright, when I say there's always another one around the corner, it literally means when one girl leaves you, there's always another girl to replace her. Since my girl left, I've decided that I'll never find another like her. Naturally, this is due to the fact that I was unable to clap her cheeks. I would have been able to move on from the fact that we broke up if I had filled her up like the stuffing in a Thanksgiving turkey before she departed. I would have gotten what I wanted, so it wouldn't have felt like a huge waste of time. But of course, I'm going to feel like I missed out because I was forced to hold my Johnson and never had the chance to experience what it felt like to pop or cherry and be inside her. However, in actuality, I didn't lose out later. With other girls who had better bodies than she did, I enjoyed myself in the bedroom. I also received my wish. So believe me when I say there will be another girl nearby. The only thing I still haven't done is pop a cherry, but once I do, I'm sure my curiosity and sense of having missed out will go. Men, that is just how things are. Because of your excessive value placed on women, the majority of it is all in your brain. The men that women know they can't mess with are different from the men that are used and abused by them. The distinction between the two is that the guys who are used and abused by women lack options and power since they haven't developed themselves or altered their thinking. Men who women know they can't mess with have options and leverage. He thus places her where she belongs at the bottom of his list of priorities. That's the difference, guys. If you have power and options, you won't spend your time with any women who aren't worth it since you can quickly swap her out for someone who is more attractive. Do you believe that wealthy men with options and leverage waste their time on women? No way. He will kick one of their women out and move on to the next if she begins to misbehave. You must treat modern women in this manner. Men have a strict no-tolerance policy for inconsiderate or time-wasting behavior from these women. Last but not least, if the lady you're trying to attract or are in a relationship with doesn't like, wants to be with you, and treats you with respect, make sure you don't give your meat to someone who doesn't value or appreciate you. Even better, don't waste time. Just go away. Don't even spend your time if the woman you want sees you as a friend and isn't interested in you. Just move forward. Do not waste your time arguing or fighting with any woman you are dealing with all the time. Simply leave or treat her like the disease she is by removing her from your life. Arguments with women are futile. So simply leave. Guys, click the like button and share the video with a man who needs to see it. Before I leave, allow me to give you this game. Now that you guys know, don't accept any BS from ladies. Women are aware of proper behavior and how to respect others. Most women, on whom they rely to make a living, won't quarrel with or criticize their boss. Thus, she cannot treat you with decency. Tell her to **kick off and throw her out. To help us, please watch this video. Please subscribe and send this video to anybody you think will benefit from it the most.